but they also have the talent to where Yakupov should be getting 20, 25 points this season. He needs to learn how to play in a structure. He played his whole career up until being traded. He played in Edmonton where there was no structure. He was told to, okay, go out there, we'll get you the puck. You have skills. You try to put the puck in the net. But that when you're that wild card type player, you don't know how to play in a structure. You don't know how to play a 200-foot game. You don't know how to develop a play. You're just there and you take the puck as you get it. And I think that if he comes around and learns how to start playing a structured game, and that's what Hitchcock's system is. It's structured to a T.
Yeah.
He's got you knowing what you need to do. And if he learns that and he can play it, I think him and Perron can both have 20, 25 games, 25-point seasons.
Yeah. So you're number one.
Was Laine and not Matthews, yeah. How Laine has taken over and Matthews is not an afterthought, but...
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like, it was super exciting watching him score 4 goals in one game on the first
it is.
opening game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So there is something there with Matthews, but I think it's going to take some time. You're not going to get everything you see out of a player in one game.
I think, the good thing is they haven't. I think that's what we just said. I mean, he's still he's that work in progress. But as your franchise star, he needs to be a work in progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think number 2 on mine right now would be, it was fairly St. Louis related here, the struggles of Brian Elliott.
Yeah.
I personally, I was not a huge Moose fan when he was here. I was always been an Allen fan, but I appreciated what he did. He always hung in here as the backup behind Halak, and then we brought in that one guy whose name I don't want to mention, and then he had to back him up even though he shouldn't have.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's not
his time.
Still not his time. No, that's why he's hurt. Good move, Vancouver. Good move. But and then he had to endure not starting in the playoffs, and then came back for another year and played his butt off. Man, he was a viable goalie, great goalie. But here's the problem: he's 3-9-1, so technically 3-10. With a goals against of 3.31 and a save percentage of .885.
Yeah.
That's not that great by any means.
Yeah.
But you have to look at it, I think, of saying, we traded him to Calgary. So he's in Calgary. Whose defense is better, St. Louis or Calgary?
St. Louis.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, it's like the same thing with Matthews and what he's been doing, like what's going on there and why their goaltending is not too great. I feel like with Elliott being in a different system as well, it's just not being able to play the same. And it's like having to change your play because of the players around you. And he's not, I feel like maybe
it's the transitional thing. It's, you were brought in, you had a really high expectations, and you're just not succeeding. They also signed Chad Johnson over the over free agency period this summer, and Johnson is currently 13-4-1 for them. Their backup is 13-4-1 with a 1.98 goals against and .932 save percentage.
Yeah, with that, and is it one of those things?
It's basically, I feel like,
how well
he lost his job, and maybe how does he get it back? It does Elliott. We always thought here in St. Louis, Elliott had that. He could make that push to be that number one guy. He showed number one guy stuff when he split with Allen.
Two questions. One, do you think Elliott has lost a step? And two, do you think that the players on the ice, the forwards and defensemen, are they playing differently in front of Elliott or in front of Johnson?
Do I think he's lost a step? No. Because I think, I mean, I can't speak for the man, but I think it's a situation. Yeah, whatever. I think he's in a different situation now, and maybe they are playing different in front of him. Johnson, Elliott, two very different goalies. Johnson's taller, a little faster, more front, more like north to south. Elliott's more east to west. In the net, I think it always benefits a team too to have two goalies like we do here at St. Louis, Hutton and Allen, who play very similar, who have very similar styles, and that way the defense doesn't have to adjust anything. They know they can pretty much play the same game all the time. They're going to know what goalie has, each preference. Maybe the Flames just play better for Johnson than they do Elliott. I can't say for sure that he lost a step, but I mean he is getting a little older. Do you attribute it to that? I'm not sure. He's 31 years old. It's just it's hard to believe that a 31-year-old should be in his prime right now. But I mean Johnson's 30 years old as well.
Yeah.
Johnson's been around as a backup forever. So basically this year what you did was you said we're going to take one backup that has basically been a backup his whole career. We're going to make him our starter over another backup who's been a backup his whole career. But I don't know. Maybe it's just he's not adjusting yet. Who knows?
Yeah. My number two is just how tight the Eastern Conference is in standings wise.
Yeah, and I think part of yours is really going to tie in with my third, so we just throw them all together here.
Yeah. It's just like there's Montreal, Pittsburgh, and the Rangers are all within a point of each other. Like Montreal's got 42, Pittsburgh with 41, and same with the Rangers. And then it kind of dips off after that with Ottawa, Boston, and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then within that, you got the wild card spots being held by the Blue Jackets and the Capitals.
Which turns into mine is the Jackets. They are on a tear. I think they have 38 points or something like that right now. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they have
17 and 5, I believe.
Yeah,
they're a better team than I thought that they would be.
Yeah, definitely.
But then they're also they're that. They are, I really believe, they're what Toronto could be in 3 to 4 years. They're a young team with young core players, with Atkinson, Foligno. They're young, but they're progressing, and they have every year.
It's like it's one of those things. It's like you can't. As I'm not a Toronto fan, but like if you are a Toronto fan, it's one of those things like you can't fret about it this year. No. Don't worry about it. Your team's gonna lose.
I'm not gonna lie. The first night I was on the Austin Matthews bandwagon,
dude. Yeah,
I was gonna buy a jersey. I may not have been on NHLShop.com and had it in my cart.
Right.
But I mean, you can't. You gotta. It's progress.
Yeah.
You gotta make it, and also you're bringing up just how tight everything is. Can anyone beat Pittsburgh right now?
I honestly the team that I can see beating Pittsburgh in the playoffs is possibly the Canadiens.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only team. But can anybody from the West right now? Like that's the hard part. The West. Can anybody from the West beat the Canadiens?
I don't see I don't see the Blackhawks being able to do it if they play them. They're just not the same team as they were. The Blues trying to incorporate that speed game. They don't have it yet. They still need to figure out what they're doing.
But currently right now, it is the Blackhawks leading with 18-8. The Blues at 16-9. 40 points for the Blackhawks, 36 for the Blues.
Yeah, and that ties into my number 3. But yeah, I don't see a team from the West really being able to really just tear into them.
I don't either. I think it would have to be an Eastern Conference team.
If the Blues were still trying to play how they were, really slow the game down and really play physical, maybe.
But this year they're just not that team.
Yeah.
You can't play that way when you lose. When you lose an antagonist like Steve Ott, you lose two big bodies like Brouwer and Backus. You gotta adjust, but at the same time, that's what the game is going towards. That more finesse speed player, and St. Louis hasn't had that for years. It's been a long time since we had that. Yeah. Now we have Schwartz, Tarasenko, young kids like that. Even if Yaskin could figure it out, man, he's a speed burner.
Fabry.
Yeah. What about New York? New York is in that precarious position. I think
they are. Yes.
I think that they if they keep playing the way that they are, I think they might be able to knock off Pittsburgh just because it's New York. They're gonna show up when it's time to show up. But they're in a position right now where Antti Raanta is taking over basically the goalie position.
Yeah.
He's going to start his 4th game in a row. He's had back-to-back shutouts. And you have a future Hall of Famer and Lundqvist sitting on the bench right now.
Yeah. Honestly, they are two completely different style. With is going on in Calgary, they're two completely different.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Style of play goalies. I think good for Antti Raanta.
He's been around. He's been around. He was off the top of my head. Maybe these are the only 2 teams, but he was in San Jose. Mm-hmm. I think he won the cup up there in Chicago as well. He's been around, and good for him.
Yeah,
going there.
I feel like right now the Rangers are going to ride that horse.
Yeah,
until something happens.
Well, I think you always...
And I feel like you have to.
I think you always have to ride the hot guy that's playing the best at that time. You got to do it.
No offense to the Swedish Fish. I love the guy. He's a great goalie. I wouldn't be upset if he was on the Blues. But he's older. I feel like if they can get something out of Antti Raanta in the long run with that, I feel like that would be great for the Rangers.
Yeah, Lundqvist is 34. In goalie years, that's a little up there.
Yeah.
I think it's good for Raanta to come in, and he thought he was going to be the backup all year. And he comes in, and now he's kind of starting. And it's good for him because no matter what, he's learning under a Hall of Fame goalie.
Yeah.
No matter what he does, he's learning under him. And being 27 years old, he still probably has, maybe 5-6 years left in him, viable years. So why not take that at 27? Why not learn? Why not learn now, take it to the next step? Maybe, Lundqvist, he could be coming to the end of his time. Raanta right now is 8-1 with a GAA of 1.65.
Just pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. And a save percentage of .943.
Which is not bad either.
Which it's not.
It's pretty good. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's doing all right. So
yeah. there has been a few suspensions this past